We have a wonderful panel in front of us, and we want to get to know each of you all. So I want to start on my left, and can I get you to introduce yourself, sir?
How y'all doing? My name is Shaun Rich. I'm not a jack of all trades. I'm like a king of all trades. So like, in short, we'll just say I'm a educator, artist, technician, speaker.
Ooh.
We'll leave that there.
All right. What do we have next to you?
My name's Kai. I do a few things. I cook. I have a catering business. It's called Busty Chicken. I also write. I'm a content creator, and I have a few podcasts. One is called It's Y'all's Fault with the comedian Chris Mosley. It's like a fun gender blame game. We make up reasons to blame the other gender. And then I have one called Sip and Debate with my friend Akeem, and we just talk about different topics, mainly about Black community, within the Black community.
Nice.
Peace. I come in the name of True Father Allah. I'm the curator for Grassroots Bookstore. And, the main thing is I'm a father. Something I always wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty much.
My name is Phree the Truth, aka Auntie Phree in these streets now. I am a woman who does a lot of things, spiritual stuff, podcasting, writing, poetry, person of the community. I just like having conversations that I feel are necessary to advance our communities and elevate our mindsets. So, just find me on social media. I'm everywhere, Phree the Truth.
What's happening? My name is Henry. No special name, just Henry. I'm just here to do whatever needs to be done to improve our conditions, study human nature, study our reaction to our conditions. I like to get down to the root cause of things as opposed to just focusing on the reactions.
Get down to the grassroots. I love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sarabo. I'm an educator, and I'm an entrepreneur, so I have my own clothing brand, which you see outside. I have a podcast show and titled Across the Diaspora, basically focusing on issues that affects our community globally, because we're all connected in some way, just reflects differently. And I'm happy to be here and to have these conversations.
I mean, as you guys heard, we got a nice, diverse group of people here to speak on Black love. Let's give them some love to start. Thank you guys.
Of capitalism as opposed to the context we were in before that. So I'll lay that out there.
The context of
So thinking about this conversation and the context of labor, body, commoditization, not having agency over yourself, not being able to provide love, not being able to protect, all of that resulted in those things as a result of capitalism and labor.
You're saying us growing up and living in this capitalist society
Right.
versus being in a more freer.
Right, and our examples of what we're talking about resulted from those folks who really had to experience those things and had to give us the skills to be able to talk about in love. And I think we have to understand where our love come from and how we love and where our examples were and what their examples were of a topic that is such as love, for us to name it Black love as opposed to any other kind of love.
All right. Well, to start the conversation, let's speak about Black love a little bit. I mean, the first thing we have to talk about is how do Black men feel about Black women and Black women about Black men, but the love in between you guys. Like, where are we at? What's the status right now between Black men and Black women on love and relationships? Let's get a basis there.
Fellas?
How y'all feeling about it? Ladies first.
I think the state between Black men and Black women is as healthy as it's ever been. We sitting in this room together to have this discussion. These brothers put this weekend together for Black men and Black women to grow together. And as long as we stay focused on that, we'll continue to grow in that direction. But I think the state of Black love Black love and black relationships, I think, is two different things. But black love is stronger than ever.
I think black men are frustrated with us. Just for so long we've had this "I don't need no man" mindset. I feel like black men are frustrated with us because we've kind of taken that role from them. You know, like the role of the man. We've taken that from them, so I feel they're frustrated. And then, of course, it's happened over time, but now we like, where's the black love? Where's the black men at? Y'all dating these others and this, that, and the other, you know? But I feel they've come to that point because they've been so frustrated with us. They kind of gave up. Not all, but you know what I mean.
It's kind of like a reaction.
Yeah.
To speak to Henry's point, I would say I kind of understand where he's coming from because, you know, if you go by what you're hearing, right, you would think black men ain't shit. They're not on the dean, they're not doing what they're supposed to do, but it's easy to look up and see that black men are the most involved fathers in their children's lives. And a lot of people don't know that. So when he says like black love, because it's bigger than relationships, you know, we love our babies, and we're doing our job as a majority. You know what I'm saying? And the women, you know what I'm saying? The fact, I agree with him because we're still here. We're not supposed to be here. It's like people look at black people and they're just like, you have all these obstacles. Like, how are you even standing? Like, why are you here? I'll put all these obstacles in front of you. Like, what's driving it? It's black love. You know what I'm saying? What OBFC is doing for the community, what we do at grassroots, all that is because of black love. You know what I'm saying? So don't fall for the narrative because like the brother said, you know, these cats that you see online and everything, it's all about money. You know what I'm saying? And so they found a lane in which they know people, they're addicted to it, like, you know, the drama. You know what I'm saying? So they keep with the same content. You know what I'm saying? And so, but you turn the internet off, and it don't even exist. It's like it's an internet thing. You know, it's not like I'm around brothers like Henry and his queen. I see them all the time. Brother Ali and his queen. Brother Shmikas and his queen. You know what I'm saying? My brother Jay and his queen. Like, I'm around nothing but married men. You know what I'm saying? And I honestly think I was married before all of them. So I was on that tip too. You know what I'm saying? It was 11 years. I gave it the good old college try. You know what I'm saying? I haven't given up on black love. So I think it is as strong as it's ever been.
Okay. Yeah, it's Missouri. There's definitely frustration between the black man and the black woman, right? There's always been tension, right? It's ever since we came off the plantation, right? There've always been dynamics within the community that strain the relationships. And I think over a period of time, with capitalism and women being able to peace, right? Yeah. And being able to say, hey, I can make it on my own, right? That has strained it even more and caused more frustration. You know, the independent, hey, I can be independent on my own, whether they're getting support from the government or they can make their own money. And so, because we have never had the chance to heal as a family and as the two genders to come together, we're seeing it now thanks to social media. It's been bubbling up to the surface. But I think that it's, in general, it's definitely there. I see the frustrations as a reflection of our desire to want to love each other, right? Men are complaining, hey, hear us, right? Women are complaining, hear us. And that's because there's that desire for us to come together, but we're not doing it the right way.
Yo, can I add on to that real quick?
Go ahead.
So for like the longest time, I feel like, you know, you were hearing women often, whether it be Ricky Lake, Oprah, whatever. And a lot of us men, we felt we had to like walk on eggshells because of the narrative, and we didn't really say what was on our mind. So the reason why it just seems new to a lot of people is because, like, I think around the time that COVID hit, you were hearing men all of a sudden. And it was just like, oh, snap. You know, we can say that and they're listening and they're, you know what I'm saying? So it flared up because you weren't ever hearing it before. But I feel like it's kind of dying down now. A lot of people's getting tired of it, and you hear the same talking points because, a certain individual who was real big, you know what I'm saying. Everybody's taking his whole format. You know what I'm saying. And it's like, okay, but they're not coming the same way he did. Because again, you know what I'm saying. Like this brother put me on to. I mean, I heard about the brother, but this brother. I remember when he said, I think he has the best platform because he's all about black families. I was like, oh snap! So let me pay attention to him, and I get it, you know what I'm saying. But at the same time, it's like, we live outside of that. We can't be on the internet 24/7. You know what I'm saying. And just one last thing, like when I was younger, man, when I was in elementary school, high school, I got frustrated with girls. When I got rejection and everything, it wasn't a big deal. Okay, the next girl, you know what I'm saying? But now it's like all of a sudden it's a big deal if like, you're getting frustrated. It's just like, it's just part of life. Every woman's not gonna like want you or like you. You know what I'm saying? So what? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand why it's such a, yeah, we're gonna be frustrated. You know why married men say what they say?
Why?
Because they're married. You know why single men say what they say? Because they're single.
I feel you on that point. We are coming from the vantage point that we have. Like, it looks like, and even right now, that's what I'm seeing in this conversation. If you notice, the women said something completely different than the men.
Well, we have one gentleman that hasn't gone yet, and she hasn't gone yet, so we got
well, not the full panel, but that's actually why I wanted to get the rest of your opinions, because right now, with what you're saying, I just wanted you guys to notice the dichotomy of thought already. So, go ahead.
The status of black love right now is it exists in two different worlds for the first time in human history, right? We have the real world, which is the material, physical, and then we have this digital world.
Come on.
So this is what you were speaking to, like as in the internet. The black man will always love his black woman. However, black love has been co-opted when it comes to the digital world. So when we look at black love in the digital world, on the internet, you're gonna see like a gender war, us beefing with our women. We're so mad at our women, and our women is so mad at us. But when we go outside, we love our woman.
Come on.
Right? Like we'll say, yo, we're not going to pay all the bills. We're not going to go 50-50. But when we get to that woman's house, or that woman come to our house, and we really in love with her, it's not even a question in real life. Here, take the whole check. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Jane, his wife. Right, so, but if you go on the internet, and that's ran by the United States government, you're gonna see a factual side of war, a gender war amongst us. You're gonna read the comments, we're beefing with each other, and then that can, possibly become your actual reality until you go outside and talk to a woman.
Come on.
Or want to go outside and talk to a man, that disappears quick. I might, talk big on the internet, but I might get around a woman I really like and be, yes, my lord. What you say, Queen? Your grace.
So why are black women the least married in America? Like when you look at the percentage of who's married, who's not, black women are at the bottom.
There's a reason for that.
Black women. Let's talk about
that.
You want to get into it?
I do, because we're talking about black love.
The internet.
Well, I wanted to allow Phree to.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm hearing all of this black love stuff, but it's like
and
she with the smoke.
because like nobody's like.
Keep going. Don't hit the table because it's mic'd up.
Oh, okay.
When you make your point, just don't slap.
Yeah, we ain't playing dominoes. We ain't playing spades. You know what I mean? Overall, I'm a black love advocate. My platform consists of having conversations that make black men and black women assess each other. At times it's hard because I'm calling for accountability in your actions and your experiences. But black love overall is, like he says, it's the strongest it's ever been. You know what I mean? And I also think it has something to do with, because I know there's a lot of black women, I ain't going to negate the fact that a lot of black women don't feel loved. However, I also think that has a lot to do with them. You know what I mean? I can reflect on the woman I was 10 years ago to the woman that I am right now. And that frequency is totally different, to the point of I can walk out of a room and a black man is going to see till I get to my car safely.
Yeah.
without even having to say anything. You know what I mean? It's just, it naturally flows. And I think once you get into that frequency of like truly loving yourself, and I think that plays into a part of what this dynamic of black love is with black women mainly, is that we aren't necessarily living out the examples of love that we want to experience.
Yeah.
So how are you going to attract it? How are you going to be in a relationship? How are you going to, you know what I mean? Like it plays into so many different things, but in an overall general sense, black love is as strong as ever. You know what I mean? I can't think of a space that I've been in where I haven't felt love. So that's my journey.
I have to disagree.
Can we agree?
I have to
Can
disagree.
we define it?
Love?
No, black love. You said black love is strong as ever. You both said it, and you said you haven't been in a place where, like, can we make it tangible for us? Define it.
In fact, we can actually define it within the next topic, because the next topic is actually, what do we love about black men and black women? So in that, can we get a definition of black love? Can I get that from you guys?
I think your question limits the definition of what black love is, because I love you, but I'm not going to speak to you in the same context as I would a woman.
Yeah.
Correct. But speaking on the things that you love about a black woman or a black man, then we can also identify black love in the midst of that.
You're going to define love between a man and woman. You're not going to define black love.
Yeah.
Black love is us defending this whole room against a common enemy.
Yeah.
A man and woman is strictly that. That's a relationship.
Right.
Like, we had a moment the other day, and I knew it rubbed her the wrong way. Ego would say she need to get over herself, but my understanding of black love came and gave her a hug. Next time I saw her, I said, "We good?" And then the time after that, I say, "Hey, look, I know I rubbed you the wrong way. I apologize. I didn't mean to come off that way." So I think the real definition of black love, as far as I'm concerned, like I said, not men and women, but understanding ain't none of us healed.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
What I love
maybe
about
we are
black
speaking
men-
about it correct, because
Oh, I'm sorry.
just to be sure, just to make it sure in everybody's mind, everything in this conversation is wrapped around black love and relationships. So we can get into many different areas, but let's try to focus on the relationships that we build within the black community. You know, not just generally.
Why I say overall, like, black love is strong as ever, because, like you said, like, we come to each other's defense whenever necessary. Like, we could have just fallen out, but if somebody did something to your mama, your brother, your whoever, we riding out. You know what I mean? I don't even care about what we was just beefing about. Like, it's about us right now. The collective is strong as ever, I feel. But the dynamic inside of that black love, between black men and black women, that's where it gets a little, everybody got their own experience and perspectives, and, it just gets a little different when we get into the dynamic of the black man, black woman coming together and in the relationship.
I would just like to point out that what you're speaking to is there's the individual and there's the collective, right?
Yeah.
And I think that, of course, we have some challenges in that individual space, but I think to what you were speaking to, the collective, like, it is these things. Like, it is loving one another with love. We call it tough love, but it's being able to recognize the trauma in your sister and your brother and recognize that their experience or their hypervigilance or their fight, fear, or flight response might have been activated all day, and they just didn't realize they was coming at you the sideways. And it's up to us to do that and help each other out to see where we could grow, like you said, and evolve. So I do think there is a difference between the collective love and then the individual love, which Europeans would like to push us to be very individualistic in the ways that we express love. And I hope that's going to come up, and again, in polyamory and monogamy, right? Like, how we individually and collectively look at the topic. So go ahead, Earl.
You've been dying to say some stuff. I want you to be able to get that.
No, it's probably something from earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you had a chance as well. You had something to say, did you? You haven't said.
Yes, I want to follow up on a few things. So the gentleman down at the back, I'm sorry, your name? Your name again, sorry.
Mine?
Yes.
You just call me Rich for sure.
Rich? Yes, Rich. Okay. So he did mention about, I think it's amazing that you're able to separate the talking heads and the content that is being espoused about the other gender and separate it from his actual interactions. But I can say that's not necessarily the same for most men. Social media is impactful beautiful in its nature in itself, and they are individuals, men who are responding based on the information that and the narrative that's being espoused online. So I can give you my personal experience, right? I have a 5-year-old, right? I've had a gentleman tell me that I'm gonna have a hard time finding a husband because I'm a single mother, right? They are men based on their own feelings and their own emotions and their own trauma, buying in and feeding in to that narrative, right? And so now they're responding based on their interactions with women, based on that reflection. I've also had another gentleman tell me, well, because you're so focused on your business, right? And because you're so, think you're so educational, blah, 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 that you just need to focus on being a wife, right? Because you're one of those women, right? Who'll have a hard time having a partner, right? So I think that we should be very careful in dismissing the things that are coming out, because they really are impacting the mindset. And men already know what other men are saying, right? They'll say something in front of other men, but they really don't know what they're saying to other ladies. I know you want to say something. I know you've been dying to say something. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. That was so rude. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I know
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I didn't wait. Hold on, I didn't know we had audience interaction.
Yeah,
I know, like if we been dying, we can't open up audience interaction just
I'm sorry,
yet.
she's been dying.
Write it down. Write it down on your phone. Write it down.
Wow.
We have to keep the piano going. Wait,
So
we got to keep the piano going. But go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to respond to that. I think that's really really key. And I think for the context of Black love, for me personally, I find it hard to separate our interactions individually and as a collective, because the example you give is your interaction with another female. So I'm not sure what you mean by personal. Do you mean as a boyfriend and girlfriend as separate from the collective? Or, because we're saying it's separate individually from the collective. And so for me, whatever interaction and love I feel to a male is the same love I think we should have as a collective, and vice versa. Understanding our history, understanding where we come from, understanding that we're coming from a space of pain and hurt. And so if we react a certain way, whether it's as a collective or we're dealing one-on-one with someone, I think the response and that love that we feel towards that person can be the same way. I'm not sure about separating it because.
Well, yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Okay.
I was talking about someone who's a peer,
Yeah.
but having that understanding that typically we reserve for our spouse or our significant other.
Oh, the spouse.
Well,
Okay.
no, it wasn't about the spouse, but it's a matter of giving that same grace, giving that same understanding. Like, I know what she's been through because I'm with her every day. So it's easy for me to understand her reaction to things.
Yeah.
I'm not with her every day. We see each other maybe 3 days a week. So therefore, the way I come off is going to be different to her. But if she understands that there's no ill will there,
Right.
I got an understanding. We're all coming from different places, but the same place. So when we meet, there's no translator to show what my trauma looks like versus your trauma. We just two different types of traumas talking to each other. But as soon as we can understand that it's all trauma, then I'm gonna give you the grace that I want you to have for me. So that's the collective, which trickles down to the individual.
Yeah. I think that's what's also important is understanding that Black love is a revolution, because we're trying to love each other through all those traumas. And it's not even it's not just me. It's generational trauma, because it runs through the DNA. So like it may not even be something that I necessarily went through personally, but because it's something that I had experienced with my mother, you know what I mean? Now I'm in this relationship and it's being triggering towards me. You know what I mean? So I think it's very important to understand that when a Black man is coming to you in a way of correction, to not be immediately offended, because sometimes correction is protection.
A lot of times.
You know what I mean? So I think that's also another dynamic when it comes to this Black man, Black woman love situation, is that Black women, we've reached a point in society where we're often put in positions where we aren't corrected. You can't, like, think about the last time you tried to say something to your mama. And we're grown now. So can you honestly have like a heart-to-heart with your mother about some of the things that she didn't do correctly? Is she ready for that conversation? Most Black women are not. You know what I mean? So, and that's also a part of love. But, I don't know if we're ready for that conversation.
As far as correction is concerned, like if I see Phree walking out the spot late night, and I'm like, when men are in the building, you make sure somebody walks you to your car. Is that a bad thing?
No, I think
It's
everybody
not,
thinks
it's,
that's a
right,
bad thing.
right. So that's a form of correction. But when you hear that word, so that's one thing we can do as men, right? We can change, our language, because a lot of it seems to not have any compassion. It's very harsh. You know what I'm saying? As far as what I was saying earlier, as a man, being in circles with men, like the fathers discussion we have every Tuesday nights, and just hearing what men say, again, like this stuff online is nothing new. It's just that we're hearing it being said. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing new. Men have been saying this. This is nothing new. The sister made a post recently where she asked what do black men want, and the answers that she got were the same answers I seen 11 years earlier when the sister asked the same question on Facebook. The same answers. The stuff is nothing new. You know what I'm saying? And you said you wanted examples of black love earlier. I just wanted to share one example here at Grassroots, right? You have this sister. She's a single mother. Her son didn't clean up some stuff in the bathroom, right? So she found out about it. She's like, oh yeah, he'll come back and he'll clean it. But I was like, don't worry about it. Another person who's working handle it. And she was like, well, when we come back, he'll fix it. He'll fix it. It was already done. She came back and she was talking about, do you have something to say that's true? And he was like, yeah, I'm sorry for leaving a mess. And I was like, it's all good. And she's like, do you want him to do anything? And I was looking at her face. She was like, I was like, oh, okay. So she wants him to be, disciplined by a man. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, okay. I got some juices in the bag. You know what I'm saying? You can come put those out and everything. That's black love, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't have a father or a man in the household or whatever, right? And so he messed up in her eyes. She wanted a man to correct him. You know what I'm saying? And those are the type of beautiful things I see in Grassroots every day. You understand what I'm saying? When Brother Bilal comes in here with the youth and they're acting up, he's like, hey, stop running around. Hey, use your inside voices. You know what I'm saying? Because I love my brothers coming to Grassroots, because you know the children ain't gonna be acting up. You know what I mean? And I've seen some things where, man, if I did that when I was young, woo. And I've seen some other things like, my children would never. You understand what I'm saying? So, it's those type of things, you know what I'm saying, that I see every day, sis. You know what I'm saying, that, I see as black love.
What I'm hearing, again, I think, two things I want to point out. I'm still hearing there is a difference between the male response versus the female response when it comes to, is there issues of the status of black love. From the male side, I'm getting that, hey, men are being disillusioned with what we see online, and we're getting wrong messages because either we feel like we haven't been heard and we're not getting through, or right now we have a vocal minority, and what's going on in the streets is we are actually upholding our duties as men when it comes to black love. And then from the women, I'm hearing that there is an issue between, it seems like a communication issue or a misunderstanding between sides, and that needs to be rectified or reconciled, because women are trying to do what they need to do as women, hold their own and go for their goals and wants, and men are looking down on that in different ways. Could be internet related, all the hearsay as to women becoming higher status in society and all that. But then also when it comes down to relationship and the connections, they're not being heard. They're not being heard as far as the standards which they're setting, and men actually being able to meet those and uphold those. That's what I kind of got from that. And then also I